Texas, Alonso Barbarena. Live stream is up. We're just trying to get the links out there so everybody can tap in. And Corfield strikes out here in the top of the first inning. Links coming soon. We'll have those up and running for you just a second so that we can get everyone here watching the game. Links coming in just a second. Number one, the batter for Youngstown, Ohio, Drew Boyven. Boyven had himself a pretty good tournament here so far. And we've just got our link here. And Boyven knocks it over the fence. Pony Palomino World Series action. Drew Boyven hits a home run over the left field wall. And the links are now live, so if you need to latch on, you can go to the Pony Palomino World Series website, LaredoPony.org, and catch it there, or just jump on YouTube and go to the Laredo Pony channel and watch it there. Foul ball by the batter. Number 7, Logan Plummer, the batter now for Youngstown, Ohio. Foul ball. 0-2 the count, 1 out here in the top of the first inning. Pony Palomino World Series brought to you by HEB, Laredo Medical Center, Buena Vista ER, the City of Laredo, the County of Webb, Whataburger, Ringo's, Star Scholarship Fund, and a whole host of others we'll be calling throughout the game. And that's a ball. Apologize for, again, the delays. We're going to get this right to make sure we get you the best quality stream we've got. We've got 4 active cameras right now. We continue to work on getting the 5th and 6th going. Plummer takes a 2-2 count with 1 out, nobody on, after Boyven put one in over the left field wall to give the Youngstown, Ohio team a 1-run lead here early in the game. Plummer, the third batter, 1 out, full count. Here in the top of the first inning, Youngstown, Ohio, a perennial visitor to Laredo, having won this tournament before. Laredo, the host team, fielding one of its best teams ever, arrives at this game having not lost a game. Youngstown, Ohio, coming up through the elimination bracket, facing elimination here should they not be victorious. But they lead 1-0 here in the top of the first inning with Barbarena on the mound. Alonso Barbarena walks Plummer. 1 out, 1 run, 1 runner on here in the first inning of game number 2 of the evening set. 2 games were played this morning, and now we got games going on in this evening. Tyler Kurlick, who has a home run to his name already in this World Series, fouls went into the parking lot. Excuse me, a little dusty in here. The pitcher Alonso Barbarena, the batter Tyler Kurlick, 1-0, runner on, 1 out here in the top of the first inning. And the runner goes, and that's a shot right through the gap at 4-3 gap, and the right fielder drops the ball. A little radio silence here as I kind of gather my notes and put together some interesting tidbits of these two teams. Kyle Gilson sends one into center field, and the runner's going to score. And so now Youngstown, Ohio, 2 runs scored here in the top of the first inning. Sacrifice fly by Kyle Gilson brings up Cam Meyer, the catcher, with a runner at first. 2 outs, bottom of the first inning, and Youngstown, Ohio has jumped on and gotten a 2-run lead early here. These teams have faced off before early in the tournament, with Laredo coming out on top and putting Youngstown, Ohio into the elimination bracket. But here they find themselves again squaring off in what could be an elimination game for Youngstown. Laredo's team strong this year, having some impressive wins. Even Mercy running a team. That's a high foul ball drifting into the foul territory, but it's catchable, and it is caught by the third baseman Cadena, and that ends the inning, but not before they score 2 runs here in the top of the first inning. Coming up to bat, the top of the order will be Hector Cadena, Jacob Compian, and Andrew De Leon. And we'll be right back after this brief message. Sends one deep into center field, and center fielder's right there to grab that. Logan Plummer, playing center field, gets out number 1. Number 9, Jacob Compian, the designated hitter, will step into the batter's box and face the pitcher, Kyle Gilson, the left-hander. Kyle Gilson on the mound for Youngstown, Ohio. And number 9, Jacob Compian, the speedster, the designated hitter, in the batter's box. And he takes strike 1 from Gilson. And that's a high fastball from Gilson to Compian. So 1 out here, 1-1 the count. Youngstown, Ohio leading in the bottom of the first inning, 2-0. A home run by Drew Boivian. And then a run scored on some nifty base running. Gilson on the mound, Compian in the batter's box. Gilson steps off, and he comes back on. Compian, the designated hitter, has a set of wheels. 1 out, 1-2 the count. Foul ball into the net. My usual sidekick, Trey Medina, who's played with this Laredo team before, is manning camera at third base. Shout out to him. We've got all our cameras up and running, except we've got one that's heating up a little bit. Gilson, the left-hander, also pretty handy with a stick, has done a lot to help his own cause whenever he's at the plate. Compian, the designated hitter. Gilson readjusting. 2-0 the lead here, 1 out. Bottom of the first inning, nobody on. Compian takes a high fastball from Gilson. 2-2. This crowd a little quieter than the Chinese Taipei crowd, who yesterday were absolutely raucous. They were just swing and a miss. Strike 3. Compian strikes out. Gilson fanning the batter. And now number 3, Andrew DeLeon, the first baseman, makes his way to the plate, trailing 2-0 here in the bottom of the first inning. And I'm not sure I've seen Laredo trail just yet. They have been such a strong team. And that one is down to third base line. The throw to first is in time. Out number 3. 1, 2, 3. And that retires bottom of the first inning. So here we go to the top of the second. Youngstown, Ohio leading 2-0. go. Top of the second inning. The batter, the left-hander, Benny Husted at the plate. Facing Alonso Barbarena, the pitcher. And that's low. And that's a deep shot right between center right, center left. And that's a stand-up double as that bounces over the wall for Youngstown, Ohio. Number 9, Derek Friedman, will come to the batter's box with number 5, Benny Husted, having shot that into the warning track and then bouncing over the fence there. In Pony Palomino World Series action, brought to you by HEB, City of Laredo, County of Webb, State Representative Richard Raymond, STX Media, Mile 1, part of the Laredo EDC, and Friedman attempting to bunt, pops it right to Barbarena. I apologize. The pitcher is now Ronaldo Lorenzo. Number 17 has come onto the mound in relief of Barbarena, who started out the game. Ronaldo Lorenzo facing the left-hander Ben McDonald, who's playing left field. Here in the top of the second inning, runner at second, one out. McDonald at the plate. Lorenzo on the mound, and he delivers strike one to McDonald. Youngstown, Ohio jumped on an early lead in the top of the first half of the first inning. 2-0. McDonald at the plate, runner at second. And that one's going to go to second base. And that's an out at first. Runner advances to third. And now the top of the order. Number 27, Andrew Corfield, the shortstop, jumps into the batter's box, hoping to drive in another run with a runner, Benny Husted, who doubled, standing there at third. Lorenzo on the mound. And that's inside, strike one. Excellent pitch by Lorenzo. Game brought to you by Ringo's Barbecue and Burgers, George Gutierrez and his crew. And that's strike two to Corfield. Trashco, Resendez Enterprises, Jerry Resendez and his team. Waterburger, Javier Montemayor, attorney at law. And swing and a miss, and Corfield is struck out, leaving a runner stranded at third. And that concludes the first half of the second inning. Youngstown leading 2-0, and we'll be right back. And ball one to the batter, number 21, Roman Martinez, the center fielder. Gilson, the left-hander, pitching for Youngstown, Ohio. Youngstown, Ohio leading 2-0 here in the bottom of the second inning. Martinez having himself a good tournament. Fouls one into the parking lot. Gilson, the left-hander, Martinez, the right-hander. 1-2 the count. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the second inning. And that one is shot down the first baseline foul. The leadoff batter, Martinez, trying to get his team rallying here as a trail early on, 2-0. Pony Palomino World Series action. With Gilson on the mound, Youngstown having already seen the Laredo team once this series. And whenever I say series, my phone thinks I'm asking it a question. Laredo coming out on top of that encounter. And that's low. 3-2 the count. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the second inning. This game brought to you by our good friends at Rotex Truck Center. And Martinez is going to walk to first. Gilson walking him. Andy's Auto Air, Andy's Mobility, Andy's Service Center, Sunbelt Air Conditioning. All part of the Rosas Enterprises. Richard Rosas, President of Laredo Pony, one of the longtime supporters of youth sports, especially baseball that he loves so much, being a player himself, continues to bring quality tournaments here to Laredo, is really responsible for the building of the Buena Vista Sports Complex, in that he brought so many tournaments. We needed a place to have this type of championship caliber baseball. And the city of Laredo, working with its citizenry, able to bring this venue here. And so now, high fly ball to center field. Center fielder adjusting to the lights, gets it. Out number one as the batter, Alejandro Galvan, the right fielder, registers out number one. Daniel Gonzalez now batting with a runner at first, one out, 2-0. Bottom of the second inning, Gilson on the mound, and he delivers a high fastball inside for ball one. As I was saying, Buena Vista Sports Complex now a reality after two separate votes to get it done. One to approve it, and then one to move it. Originally scheduled to go at Tammy U, split up from the tennis facility and found its new home thanks to the gracious donation of the Valdez family and Donato Ramos and his family. The 200-plus acre facility features 10 fields, 2 multi-purpose fields, and we'll have an additional 10 fields coming on in phase 2. Gilson on the mound, the left-hander. Gonzalez, left-hander, fouls one over the third base bullpen. Our other sponsors, D&D Homes, Joe Barron, Star Scholarship Fund, Steve Lamantia, LNF Distributors, big part of that. One of the premier scholarship funds here in Laredo, Texas, and strike three to Gonzalez. Gilson gets him looking for out number two. Number 33, Frankie Cantu, the second baseman, making his way to the batter's box to face Gilson with a runner on and 2 outs. No runs have scored for Laredo. They trail 2-0 here in the bottom of the second inning. And that's a ball. Our other sponsors include Mile 1, part of Laredo EDC, el Instituto Cultural de Mexico en Laredo. Also a sponsor, put on a phenomenal baile folklorico right there at the meet and greet, the first one of its kind, sponsored by HEB, where they fed over 700 kids, parents, coaches, and officials. And that's a strike to Cantu. First annual, hope to do it again. Phenomenal event. If you haven't seen what that looked like, go to Laredo Pony YouTube channel and you'll see the meet and greet there as it was being live streamed. Lots of good fun, good food, opportunity for the players to meet each other as well as meet the public. Gilson on the mound fires a high fastball to Cantu. 3-2 the count with a runner at first. Here in the bottom of the second, Youngstown, Ohio 2, Laredo nothing. And a game brought to you by title sponsor HEB. Our other big sponsor, whose name you see on the box score if you're watching this on YouTube, Laredo Federal Credit Union, LFCU, celebrating 70 years of service to this community. Rafael Martinez, the president, and his group. Foul ball as Cantu battling to stay alive, and the catcher almost gets there. Cam Meyer, in place of the stalwart Todd Jones, who had been playing that position. Want to give a shout out to the folks over at Youngstown, Ohio, who have been helping me out with the pronunciations. Earlier on, when the game was happening this morning, they helped out tremendously. And again, always appreciative of the folks from Youngstown, Ohio. Some of them have been gracious enough to lend their voice to us here at the booth, coming in and doing a quick interview, and often helping us with the pronunciations of some of the names here. Gilson on the mound, number 33, Frankie Cantu, the second baseman, in the batter's box, 3-2 the count. That's low and inside for ball 4. And now we got a runner in scoring position, the tying run at first base, and number 5, Michael Guerra, the left fielder, coming up to bat. Want to give another strong shout out to UISD. The bus drivers from UISD doing a phenomenal job every year carting these kids to and from the hotels to the baseball park to the different events, out to eat, different venues where the kids were being entertained this year. Shout out to San Martin de Porres Church, Blessed Sacrament, and a couple other locations. I'll get those from Orlando Navarro, one of our top volunteers, also past president of Border Olympics, which also brings a big baseball tournament to Laredo. Oldest track and field meet in Texas. Number 5, Michael Guerra, the left fielder, swings, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the second inning here at Unitrade Stadium, home of the Tecolotes a los Dos Laredos, the Bad Hombres. And that's inside. 2-2 the count for Guerra. With the tying runs on base and 2 outs, Guerra trying to add to the scoreboard here as they trail 2-0. And that's a foul tip going into the backstop. One of the beauties of playing at Unitrade, this professional baseball field, has some of the nice goodies in here, a radar gun. And so we've got speed being put up on the Jumbotron, so I'll read that to you every once in a while. 2-2, 2 outs, and that's a foul ball down the third baseline. Got a great shot from the center field camera. The crew over at Liquid Studio Group upping their game with some new equipment and having multiple cameras. The biggest challenges here, as it is anywhere, is the Wi-Fi, and that's a high fly ball inside the field play, and the first baseman drops it. The first baseman drops the ball. Derek Friedman unable to handle that high fly ball as it was drifting further and further infield. And that will load the bases. And number 14, Kike Loyola, the shortstop, settles into the batter's box to face Gilson, trailing 2-0 here with 2 outs and all the bases loaded. Gilson winds, and that's a grounded to short, and that is out number 3. And 3 stays stranded on base. Laredo down 2-0 to Youngstown as we go to the top of the third inning here at Unitrade Stadium. We'll be right back.
When someone in your family needs emergency care, you want it fast. And now, with Laredo Medical Center Buena Vista ER, help is here. Conveniently located next to Buena Vista Sports Complex, we offer emergency care 24/7. From treatment of broken bones to care for life-threatening conditions, our dedicated team is ready at Laredo Medical Center Buena Vista ER.
Who has a home run in this game, leads off for Youngstown, Ohio. Adjusting to some of the equipment issues we've got. The pitcher, number 17, Ronaldo Lorenzo, on the mound for Laredo. Youngstown, Ohio, 2-0 over Laredo, and Drew Boyven at the plate. Boyven with a solo homer in the first inning. Also one of the speedsters for Youngstown, Ohio. Participated in the fastest man competition. 3 balls, 1 strike, no outs, nobody on. Top of the 3rd inning. Swing and a miss for Boyven. Shout out to Mile 1, part of Laredo EDC, helping us put together meetings and inviting sponsors and others to participate. La Posada Hotel, the host hotel. And Boyven is going to walk here at the top of the 3rd inning. We've got number 7, Logan Plummer, the center fielder, stepping into the batter's box. With Laredo trailing 2-0. Ronaldo Lorenzo, the pitcher for Laredo. Logan Plummer, the center fielder, in the batter's box awaiting his first pitch. Drew Boyven, the leadoff here in the 3rd inning, on first base. And Lorenzo trying to keep him honest. And Boyven does have some speed. Plummer in the box, Lorenzo. That's a high foul ball. Cadena is tracking it. Given my angle here, for if anybody's ever been at Unitrade and where the press box is next to the control room, there is a blind spot as you approach the left field wall. It's not visible from this, so we rely on camera or fan reaction. Boyven at first, Plummer in the box, Lorenzo the pitcher. 1-1 the count, throwing about 86 miles an hour. And that one there is a ball, 2-1. Nobody out, runner at first, leadoff batter, Drew Boyven, who walked to first. Lorenzo on the mound. Plummer in the batter's box. And Boyven making the catcher think he was going. Your catcher for Laredo, Daniel Gonzalez, up out of his stands quickly. The pitcher, Lorenzo, throws outside, ball 4, and Plummer walks to first. Nice, quiet evening, not as hot as it had been. It was 103 degrees at 7:30 yesterday down at the Buena Vista Sports Complex. It's probably in the 90s here. Almost considered sweater weather here in August. Dog days of summer always in triple digits. 107 had to feel like 115 on the field. Number 3, Andrew De Leon in the batter's box. And takes strike 1 from Lorenzo. Pitcher catcher having a little quick discussion here about what to throw next to number 3, Tyler Kurlick. Tyler Kurlick, and my apologies, I had my screen flip here. Got it back in order. Number 3, Tyler Kurlick, second baseman for Youngstown, Ohio, in the batter's box, facing Lorenzo with 2 men on, nobody out, 1 strike. It's been a long day. We've called 4 games today. We even called one in 3 languages earlier when Tijuana, Mexico was playing Taiwan, Chinese Taipei. We did that one in Mandarin as well. Spanish, English, and Mandarin. We almost threw in a little bit of Spanglish there as well. Number 3, Tyler Kurlick. Kurlick also has a home run in this series. Lorenzo on the mound, 2 runners on, and that's a foul tip. Nobody out here in the top of the 3rd inning. Youngstown, Ohio leading Laredo, who is currently undefeated here in this elimination game. If Laredo were to lose tonight, they would play again against this very team tomorrow morning. If they are successful, then they go on to meet Chinese Taipei, Taiwan, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock here at Unitrade Stadium. And as I said, it's been a long 4 days. We started with the meet and greet live production, and then we did down the third baseline. Down the third baseline, Cadena able to grab it and not let it go, but the speedster Boyven gets to third before he could make the tag, and then the throw to first was unsuccessful. It was mishandled by the first baseman, and so now with nobody out, the bases are loaded, and Kyle Gilson will step into the batter's box. And as I said, Boyven is fast, and Drew Boyven had a nice lead and got into third base in a hurry. Cadena, though, keeping that ball from going out into the outfield and allowing another run to score, did a great job defensively. First baseman could not handle that throw. Bases loaded, 1-0 the count, nobody out. Bottom of the second inning. Sorry, top of the third inning. My goodness. Somebody get the broadcaster a cup of coffee here. 2-0, top of the third inning. Youngstown, Ohio leading 2-0. Gilson hits one to second base. And a run will score. Runners will advance as the fielder chooses first base. For out number 1. And Youngstown, Ohio adding one here in the top of the third inning. 3-0. Number 10, Cam Meyer, the batter for Youngstown, is also the catcher. And he takes strike 1 from Lorenzo. With 2 runners on, third and second, 1 out. Top of the third inning, Lorenzo on the mound. And that's a foul ball going into the dugout there. Almost gave one of his teammates a little head knocker. Bouncing in around that dugout. Number 7, Logan Plummer is at third. Drew Boyven has already crossed the plate. 3-0. Cam Mayer. Lorenzo trying to choose his pitches wisely here, not wanting to let Youngstown score anymore. Has one shot right down the middle, and that's going to score 2 runs. Nope. The runner, Kurlick, not wanting to advance, did not want to test the center fielder's arm. And so we have runners now at the corners, 4-0, 1 out here in the top of the third inning. Now Laredo has a game to give, but I betcha they don't want to give that game at all. That would make them have to play tomorrow early so that they could rest up and wait for the Chinese Taipei team that has already secured its spot in the championship, besting Tijuana, Mexico earlier today. That one in the dirt, the catcher, Daniel Gonzalez, keeping that in front of him. We're trying to get this live stream to be the best that it can be. We're adding components every year to make it better. Harder and harder because the cost keeps going up, but also the technology is changing so fast. Some of the cameras that we have are 6K cameras, so the data packs that are sent up jam the Wi-Fi. Unless you've got a stellar Wi-Fi where we have, like in our studio, we can broadcast with a full gigabyte, and here it's hard to get megabits here at the Unitrade Stadium. But thank you for watching and thank you for your feedback. We appreciate that. We want to do best we can for you. We know that some of y'all can't make it down to the ballpark, and this is your only way to watch. We continue to provide this live stream at no cost, no paywall, no subscriptions. Our sponsor is taking care of all of that for you. And so Benny Hudstead goes on to first base, having been walked by Lorenzo. And that's going to bring on Derek Friedman, the first baseman, who dropped a fly ball in the infield earlier, almost giving some life to the Laredo team. Bases loaded, 1 out. Lorenzo on the mound. Swing and a miss by Friedman. Good cut. 89-mile-an-hour pitch there from Lorenzo. Oh, and Lorenzo hits him in the number 9. Square in the back. And Friedman makes his way to first base. And number 3, the courtesy runner, Jacob Ziegler, crosses home plate for run number 5 here in the top of the third inning. And here comes the coach. And he's going to have a quick chit-chat with his infield, talking about what's happening, what to do next. Again, as I've always said, this is one of my favorite scenes from Bull Durham, where everybody gathers on the mound and starts to discuss the issues with a glove and jammed eyelids and what to get Jenny for her wedding. Candlesticks make a nice gift, according to the coach from the Durham Bulls. And here comes Derek Friedman. Sorry, number 13, Ben McDonald, the big unit, stepping into the batter's box with Lorenzo in a pickle, 1 out, 3 runners on. 3 runs have scored so far this inning. And that one gets past the catcher, but not far. Gonzalez able to find it around his right ankle. I'll check the weather in a second, see what the temperature is, but it doesn't look like it's near as hot as it had been before. Unitrade Stadium, great facility, big fans blowing in the concourse. So if you're up sitting high in the seats, you're getting some nice breeze going there. But if you happen to be in one of the suites or in the club area, you're enjoying nice, cool air conditioning when it's 107 outside. The windup and the swing by McDonald. Foul. 2-2 the count, 1 out, bases loaded. Top of the third inning, 5-0. Youngstown, Ohio, leading Laredo. This team has met before. Laredo putting a 10-1 hurting on Youngstown earlier. And Youngstown looking to return the favor right here. So Lorenzo goes full count with 1 out, bases loaded. Ben McDonald, the left-handed batter, facing the right-handed pitcher, Ronaldo Lorenzo. And he's going to walk McDonald. Lorenzo walks him. And that is run number 6 here in the top of the third inning. 4 runs haven't scored here, 2 in the very beginning of the game. Drew Boyven driving a solo blast over the left field wall here at Unitrade. Now Unitrade, Andrew Corfield, the shortstop, in the batter's box. Unitrade, the home of los Tecolotes de los Dos Laredos, who are the Mexican national baseball team playing in the Mexican National League. And they play on both sides of the Rio Grande. Some games at La Junta Park in Nuevo Laredo, Tamaulipas, Mexico, and here in Laredo. And that's a shot to third. And safe at first. And another run scores. So Cadena able to throw out the runner at second, but unable to get that turn of the double play at first, with the speedy Corfield beating the throw. So 7-0 Corfield at first. Drew Boyven with a home run to his credit already, which I was talking about. Unitrade Stadium, professional baseball stadium for the Mexican Baseball League. And Boyven put one over left field early in the game. And that's another high fly ball. That one's going to drift into, and that's going to drop, lost in the lights. And number 27, Corfield, all the way from first, scores. So 2 runs will go in as Boyven drops one right in front of all 3 players, the shortstop, center fielder, and left fielder. And it could have been lost in the lights because it looked like they were communicating with each other well, but somehow or another that hits the turf. And now with 2 outs, a runner at third, 9-0 Laredo trailing Youngstown, Ohio. And here comes Logan Plummer, number 7, the center fielder, trying to add one more run here. And that's down to first base. First baseman's going to snag that, and that will end the inning, but not before 7 runs are scored here in the top of the third inning. Youngstown 9, Laredo nothing. Bottom of the third inning coming right up after this broadcast message.
When someone in your family needs emergency care, you want it fast. And now, with Laredo Medical Center Buena Vista ER, help is here. Conveniently located next to Buena Vista Sports Complex, We offer emergency care 24/7. From treatment of broken bones to care for life-threatening conditions, our dedicated team is ready at Laredo Medical Center Buena Vista ER.
And strike one to Cadena here in the bottom of the third inning, trailing 9-0 Laredo, trying to get something started. And that one is going to go right up the middle. Cadena getting a spark here. And maybe this leads to something good. Little break in the action as the pitcher gets a new ball from Blue, the umpire. Title sponsor HEB. Box score sponsor Laredo Federal Credit Union. LFCU celebrating 70 years of service to the community. Outstanding organization. Federal Credit Union used to be for teachers, and now everybody can join. Gilson still on the mound, and a bunt unable to be handled by anybody. Not sure what they were doing at the moment, but when third baseman had the ball, had an opportunity to maybe try to get the runner at second, as he had gone a little too far as he came around the corner, but unable to do so. So with two runners on, no outs, number 3, Andrew De Leon, awaits his turn here at bat, showing bunt as well, and that's strike one. Small ball. As my good friend Henry Mejia would say, small ball. Good play here. And that's a chopping foul down the third baseline. Both runners pretty speedy of their own accord. So with runners at second and first, De Leon, the batter, Gilson, still the pitcher here at the bottom of the third inning. Laredo trails 9-0. And Gilson trying to get himself out of a jam here with no outs. And he does his job, grounding out to second, but advancing both his runners into scoring position. Roman Martinez, number 21, the center fielder, will step up and face Gilson with one out. Two runners on, trailing 9-0 here in the bottom of the third inning. Can Laredo dig itself out of this 9-run deficit? And that's a high fastball. Good camera work. We're just trying to get some of those little glitches, some of those smaller details taken care of. We lost a camera earlier in the evening. Temperature getting to the transmitter, not so much the camera, but wirelessly transmitting from down in the field up to the control room, and it appears that one is down for the moment, and that's a strike. Sorry, that's a ball. 3-0 the count. 1 out, 2 runners on. I'm going to ask the cleaning crew to clean the windows here too. And Gilson delivers a strike. 3-1 the count to Roman Martinez. Runners at second and third. And that's strike 2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, 2 runners on. Bottom of the third inning, 9-0. Youngstown leading. Laredo threatening. Gilson delivers. And that one is going to punch through. And there is Laredo. And Laredo's bats wake up here in the bottom of the third. 2 runs come in. Nice single down the middle. 2 runs batted in. Alejandro Galvan, the right fielder, in the batter's box, takes one from Gilson. Strike 1. Gilson, the left-hander, still on the mound. He's allowed only the 2 runs. Gilson throws strike 2 to Galvan. There is 1 out. There is 1 runner on. 2 runs have scored here in the bottom of the third inning. Laredo very good at taking small bites when they're down and getting back in the game. Always a threat. Big bats, fast runners, and they can battle back out of here. Down by 7. Galvan takes the pitch from Gilson and literally takes it on the side. Gilson dinging the batter will put 2 on with 1 out. And number 6, Daniel Gonzalez, the catcher, will come on and take his turn in the batter's box. And that shot into right field will load the bases. Martinez, not wanting to challenge the throw from right field, holds up at third. So with 1 out, bases are loaded. And Frankie Cantu will come on to try to add some runs to the tally here in the bottom of the third. Laredo trailing 9-2, but threatening with bases loaded. Frankie Cantu at the plate and Gilson on the mound. And that's a high fastball. And ball 2. Cantu takes ball 3 from Gilson. Bases loaded, 1 out. 3 balls, no strikes to Cantu. And he takes strike 1 from Gilson. Can Gilson get out of the inning? Or will he give up more runs and let Laredo back into the game as they lead 9-2? And that's a high fly ball. And a rumble score on a sacrifice fly to left field. Again, I've got a blind spot here, but watching it on the camera. Out number 2 is recorded. Runners at the corners. And number 5, Michael Guerra, the left fielder, will come in and see if he can add to the tally. Down by 6 with runners at the corners, 2 outs. Guerra trying to close the gap here in the bottom of the 3rd. Takes swing and a miss, strike 1. Laredo has always been known as a club that can battle back. And right now they trail by 6, but they are still trying to add more to the tally here. Strike 2 to Guerra, who went around on that one. And Gilson just trying to close the door here and stop the hemorrhaging here. And that's strike 3, and Guerra goes down looking. And that'll do it for the inning. We go to the top of the 4th with Laredo trailing 9-3 to Youngstown, Ohio. We'll be right back. And here we go, top of the fourth inning, number 3, Tyler Kurlick at the plate. And he shoots one in that 5-6 gap into left field to start off the inning. Kurlick, the leadoff batter, followed by number 24, Kyle Gilson, the pitcher. One runner on, nobody out. Leadoff batter, Kurlick, gets a shot out into left field through the 5-6 gap. And that's another shot. That one's going to drop right in front of the center fielder. And Kurlick sliding safe into second. That ball got out in a hurry, allowing the center fielder to try to make a play at second. Cam Mayer at the plate. And that's a high fastball from Lorenzo. 85-mile-an-hour fastball. Runner at second, runner at first, nobody out. 2-0 the count to Mayer. And a grounder excuse me, for a double play. 5-4-3 double play here in the top of the fourth inning. So with 2 outs, Benny Hudstead steps into the batter's box with a runner at third. Lorenzo on the mound. And that's a shot, and that's going to drop, and that's going to score. Kurlick from third, and Hudstead will walk onto second base. 1-run double for Hudstead. Number 9, Derek Friedman, the first baseman, with a chance to bring in Hudstead, who stands at second base after an RBI double. Lorenzo on the mound. The score 10-3 as Youngstown tries to add to it here in the top of the fourth inning. Strike one to Friedman. Thank you to the folks over in Youngstown, Ohio. Appreciate you watching on the live stream. And also the folks here who have helped us with the pronunciations. And that one almost in the gap. The second baseman gets the throw, and that's out number 3, but not before a run scores. And Youngstown extends the lead 10-3. We'll be right back for the bottom half of the fourth inning.
When someone in your family needs emergency care, you want it fast. And now, with Laredo Medical Center Buena Vista ER, help is here. Conveniently located next to Buena Vista Sports Complex, we offer emergency care 24/7. From treatment of broken bones to care for life-threatening conditions, our dedicated team is ready at Laredo Medical Center Buena Vista ER.
Number 14 for Laredo, Kike Loyola, takes ball one from Gilson, who's still on the mound. Ooh, and that's inside. Tickling the ribs there as it went by. 2 balls, no strikes, no outs. The leadoff batter, Loyola, takes strike one from Gilson. 2-1 the count. This broadcast is brought to you by HEB, and that's a shot into right field, and out number 1 is recorded here. The right fielder, Drew Boyman, who has a home run in this game. And now stepping to the plate, Hector Cadena, number 8, the third baseman. Excellent defenseman and carries a big stick as well. Going to try to get his team rallied back in here. They're down 10-3 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And he takes ball one from Gilson. Laredo Medical Center, Buena Vista ER. Thank you for your sponsorship. Laredo Federal Credit Union, 70 years of service. LFCU celebrating 70 years. City of Laredo Visitors Convention and Visitors Bureau, CVB. And Laredo Parks and Recreation. Great job by the folks over there, Tommy Ramirez, Anita Stanley. And that's a shallow fly ball. Second baseman drifting back and gets it. Out number 2 here in the bottom of the 4th inning with Laredo trailing 10-3. And now Jacob Compian, the designated hitter, who's got a set of wheels, speedy young man, will face Gilson with 2 outs and nobody on. Trailing 10-3. Unitrade Stadium, Palomino World Series action here. Live from Laredo, Texas. And that's inside. Earlier today, Chinese Taipei punched their ticket to the championship game with a win over Tijuana, Mexico. Great baseball game. And that's ball 2 to Compian. Want to shout out to UISD and the bus drivers from UISD for carrying our kids safely to and from hotels to venues and to all the events that they went to. Shout out to Stars for hosting a big shindig over at L&F Distributing, Star Scholarship Fund. Steve Lamantia and his group. Strike one to Compian. And we've lost the count on the board there. We've got 2 outs. We know that for sure. And the guys from Game Changer get a little noisy next door. That's a high fly ball. Looks like the second baseman's going to drift and get it. Again, I'm not sure if the lights are playing tricks on these guys or there's a little bit of a breeze out there. I can see the flags waving, but ball seems to be drifting and they drift with it. But that's out number 3, and we go to the top of the 5th inning. Laredo trailing 10-3, and we'll be right back. And we're back to the top of the 5th inning here. Lorenzo still on the mound, and that's a shot to second as the big unit, Ben McDonald, makes his way to first, out number 1. And we go to the top of the lineup. Andrew Corfield will come into the batter's box to face Ronaldo Lorenzo, the pitcher for Laredo. Laredo trailing 10-3 here in a game brought to you by HEB, Cigarroa Heart Institute, Dr. Ricky Cigarroa, Trash Co., Jerry Resendez and his group, Danny's Restaurants, Ringo's Barbecue, high fly ball. First baseman's got control of that one. And again, that one drifting a little bit. Some awkward catches by both teams when those balls go high up in the air. Maybe the wind is playing a little bit of a factor out there. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. Laredo 3, Youngstown 10. Number 1, Drew Boyven with a home run to his credit. Looking to add to his score here with 2 outs and nobody on in the top of the 5th inning. And that's a foul ball. That one's going to come drifting back, landing right there by the Chinese Taipei flag. And you may see a couple flags we've used. There is a Chinese Taipei Olympic flag that was being used earlier. And prior to that, we had the traditional Chinese Taipei flag. Chinese Taipei team from Taiwan already in the championship game, waiting for the winner of this game if it's Laredo, or the winner of the game tomorrow morning if it's not. And our crews will start planning what to do should the game go in Youngstown's favor and we regroup for an early game instead of a singular game tomorrow. And number 1, Drew Boyven, comes around as he kind of looked like he was ducking, but that's out number 3 for the inning. And so we'll be back for the bottom half of the 5th after this brief commercial message. bottom of the 5th inning to number 3, De Leon. Andrew De Leon takes ball 1 from the pitcher Gilson, who's still on the mound. Bottom of the 5th inning, Youngstown 10, Laredo 3. And that's a foul ball going into the net. Andrew De Leon, the first baseman for Laredo. 1-2 the count. And that's going to go to second base. And that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Number 21, Roman Martinez, the center fielder, will step in and try to spark something for his team that as they trail 10-3. 1 out. 0. One zero the count. 1 out. About an 83-mile-an-hour pitch there from Gilson. And that one goes sailing high into the night sky. Right fielder making that catch. Drew Boyvin coming in from right field, getting that about center right. Thank you again to all our sponsors. Guerra Communications for hosting us at the Casablanca Ballroom, Z93, 98.1, Big Buck, and all those stations down there for Guerra Communications. Shout out to LISD, always available to loan us their fields or give us assistance when we need it. They've been a good partner. Dr. Marte Martinez, Advanced Spine Pain Solutions. Ringo's Barbecue. D&D Homes, Joe Barron. Great home builder, building a really nice house there at Del Mar C, a remodel. Big, beautiful house that he's remodeling down there. And that shot goes into right field. Is going to drop. Nope, there it is. A right fielder, Boyvin, getting that one and securing out number 3 here. And that ends the 5th inning. We'll go to the top of the 6th. Laredo trailing 10-3. We'll be right back. Here we go. Top of the sixth inning. Lorenzo still on the mound. Ronaldo Lorenzo for Laredo. And the batter for Youngstown is Logan Plummer. And he takes strike one. 1-1 the count here. Nobody on, nobody out. Leadoff batter here for Youngstown, Ohio. In the top of the sixth inning as they lead 10-3. And he takes strike two. Going back to our lineup of sponsors, want to say thank you to Playmore Family Entertainment Center for hosting our teams out there at the Playmore Family Center north of town. Roque Vela Jr., extending our condolences to Roque Vela Jr. and his family as his father, a long-time Laredo leader, an icon in our community, swing and a miss by Plummer, passed away early this week. So we wish our very best to our good friend Roque Vela, our condolences to him and his mom, Cookie Vela, and the entire Vela family, owners of Playmore and Jet Bowl North, Jet Bowl del Rio. Shout out to Mile 1, Laredo EDC. Full count here to Plummer. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the sixth inning. Youngstown leading 10-3. That's a foul ball. IBC Bank. Whataburger. Danny's Restaurant, La Posada Hotel. STX Media. Thank you for letting us use your billboards to announce the games to get people here. Sames Auto Arena as well. Oh, and that one was shot hard towards the net. Sames Auto Arena for putting the games and the series coming on their marquees. And also shout out to SMG, managers of this particular facility. Legends Global for being our gracious host here at Unitrade Stadium, home of the Tecolotes of los Dos Laredos. And that's a swing and a miss, strike three for Plummer. Tyler Kurlick, the second baseman, will come on to bat. Number 3. Big thank you to Richard Rosas and Laredo Pony for the opportunity to broadcast these games for you. And that one is shot into center field. And that's out number 2 here in the top of the sixth inning. Want to say thank you to Javier Montemayor, attorney at law. Keep Laredo beautiful. Thank you for providing those goodie bags that we used to give out items to our coaches and players. And that's down to first base. First baseman is going to toss it over to the pitcher Lorenzo, and that's out number 3. And that ends the top half of the sixth inning. We'll be right back with the bottom half of the sixth.
When someone in your family needs emergency care, you want it fast. And now, with Laredo Medical Center Buena Vista ER, help is here. Conveniently located next to Buena Vista Sports Complex, we offer emergency care 24/7. From treatment of broken bones to care for life-threatening conditions, our dedicated team is ready at Laredo Medical Center Buena Vista ER.
year. We're not. There we go. And here we are, bottom of the 6th inning. And ball one from Gilson to the batter, our left-hander for Laredo, number 6. And that one's going to drop fair right over the third baseman. The leadoff batter for Laredo, number 6, Daniel Gonzalez, the catcher, is going to get a courtesy runner as well. Number 1, Armando Lozano, who is courtesy running for Gonzalez. Leadoff batter getting a single over into left field. Number 33, Frankie Cantu in the batter's box facing Gilson with a runner on first. And that's a high fly ball. That one is kind of drifting. Let me see if I can see it on the camera here. And that is out, number 1. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Runner holds at first. And then number 5, Michael Guerra, the left fielder, will come in to try to keep the dream alive of going in without having to play an extra game tomorrow. Always hard when you got one more. And that one is belted out there. And the left fielder catches that near line drive. And out number 2 is registered here. Number 14, Kike Loyola, the shortstop, now coming on to face Gilson, who has pitched 6 2/3 innings. 5 2/3 inning here, trying to complete his 6th. And he delivers strike 1 to Kike Loyola. And we promise we're going to get that center field camera brightened up for the next game, because it will be at night when we go back for the championship game. And we'll make sure we get all of those issues ironed out tomorrow morning. 14, Kike Loyola. That ball is drifting and is going to drop right in between all the folks. And he's out at number 3. The runner at third base, The runner trying to get to the third base, unable to do so. Ball dropped right in between second and center field, but the center fielder scooping that up and making a hard throw to third base and catching the runner. So that ends the inning. And we go to the top of the 7th inning with Youngstown leading 10-3. We'll be right back. Cam Meyer steps into the plate here. 7th inning, leading 10-3. Lorenzo still on the mound. And Meyer drives one to first base. First baseman's going to scoop that up, make an easy out. Out number 1 here in the 7th inning. Laredo trailing 10-3. Here in the top of the 7th inning with Ronaldo Lorenzo still on the mound for Laredo. And Benny Husted, the third baseman, will come on and see if he can add to the lead and force a game tomorrow morning. The tiebreaker between these two, Laredo having won the first one on Friday, Youngstown looking like it's going to win the game here today. And that's low in the dirt. 2-1 the count, 1 out. Here in the top of the 7th inning, great game played by both these teams during this tournament. And that one's going to scoot on through the gap there. Want to acknowledge a few more of our sponsors. Instituto Cultural de Mexico in Laredo. Great performance on Thursday at the meet and greet. Thank you to the Consul General de Mexico in Laredo. And IBC Bank, Star Scholarship Foundation, Monarch Tracking, LISD, UISD, Convention and Visitors Bureau, City of Laredo, County of Webb, and our title sponsor, HEB, our box score sponsor, Laredo Federal Credit Union. Swing and a miss by number 9, Derek Friedman, the first baseman, with Benny Husted. And that one bounces off the chest protector. Cam Meyer grounded out earlier for out number 1. Husted successful in getting on to first base with a hit down that same area. And now Derek Friedman fouls it high up in the air, going over to the VIP suite. Nobody home there this evening, but it'll probably be full on Monday night as we get to the championship game of the World Series with Chinese Taipei awaiting the winner of the tiebreaker should Youngstown win, or Laredo should they win here tonight. Number 9, Derek Friedman takes the pitch, and that's high. 2-2 the count, 1 out. 85-mile-an-hour pitch there. 10-3 the score here, top of the 7th. Pony Palomino World Series action coming to you from Unitrade Stadium in Laredo, Texas. And that's a swing and a miss, strike 3 for Derek Friedman, who is trying to add a little something to keep his team's lead nice and healthy. 7 runs right now, 10-3. Ben McDonald, number 13, the left fielder. 2 outs, runner on first. Lorenzo pitches, and that's a grounder. Second base is going to get picked up nicely, tossed over to the shortstop for out number 3, and that ends the top half of the last frame here. Laredo with one last chance to advance to the championship game without an extra game, and we'll see you in the bottom half in just a minute. inning with Laredo trailing 10-3. Hector Cadena, top of the order. He is in the batter's box. One strike, no outs, nobody on, trying to avoid having to have an extra game between them and Youngstown. Youngstown leads 10-3. Chinese Taipei will get a chance to spend a day at the spa before they come out and play Laredo, where Laredo may have to play a game here in the morning to decide who will be playing against Chinese Taipei. Both teams have played against Chinese Taipei for a championship in the past. And that's a high fly ball drifting into third base foul, but maybe playable. And it drifted out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Bottom of the 7th inning, Laredo trailing 10-3. Laredo has not lost the game yet, so they have a game to give, but will have to meet up with Youngstown in the morning, and they'll have to decide what time. And that one's going to squeeze through, and the leadoff batter, Cadena, gets on to first base. Compian will now come on and try to bring his mate home and keep the dream of resting in the first part of the day and coming out fresh as daisies to face the Chinese team, who's already punched their ticket for the championship. Number 9, Compian, bunts it. And the third baseman wisely lets it roll, hoping that it'll go out, and it does not. And Compian is now at first, and Cadena at second. Nobody out. Bottom of the 7th, and number 3, Andrew De Leon, will try to come on and spark a rally if possible. 2 runners on, trailing 10-3 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Gilson still on the mound, and that shot is to shortstop. 1, 2, and so the throw from second to first is successful, and you've got a double play here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Cadena now standing at third. And Roman Martinez will come on and try to bring Cadena home and maybe keep the dream alive of having a long sleep in rather than facing Youngstown again. And that's ball 1. Excellent double play by the shortstop, Corfield. That's a high fastball. 2-0 the count, 2 outs. Cadena at third. Martinez in the batter's box. And that goes to third base, and that looks like that's going to do it for tonight. And there you have it. Youngstown gets its revenge and beats Laredo 10-3. Laredo having bested them early on in the tournament on Friday. And now the two will meet again tomorrow morning. And what we may do is just allow for a little bit of time here to decide if they're going to do the flip right away or if they are going to wait a while. And if it looks like they're going to wait a while, we'll just go ahead and cut out and we'll see you tomorrow. But if they do continue on and decide to do the flip right here in front of us, well, then we'll stay on. Give us about 2 minutes. And we'll about 2 minutes to see which way they start going, if they're going to do the flip right in front of us or if they're going to wait on. If they're going to wait on, then we'll just cut out and we'll come back to you and it'll be posted on the brackets at ponypalomino.org and the Laredo Pony Game. We'll announce it as well on Laredo Pony's social media. Amber alerts going. Please check your phones. All right, so the coaches are meeting here right in front of us, and they're making a decision about what time they want to play tomorrow. And so we'll stay with you for just a second, see if they decide that they agree to a 10 o'clock or a 9 o'clock. And so they're going to toss right in front of us, and we'll find out in just a second whether the game will be at 9 or at 10. And now the flip is in the air. And a little bit of dead air here while we kind of look and see what they're doing. They're maybe not happy with that toss. And that toss is successful. And maybe Art can get on the PA and ask him what time for tomorrow's game. But it looks like the decision's been made, and we're trying to figure out what time we will be here tomorrow for the extra game, which game 17. So that we can make that announcement. Everybody's kind of standing around with the live stream still going. We're still trying to figure out what time this game's going to be on. And let's see if we know what time. Let me find out what time the game is on here. The most unaccommodating individual, I'm going to go ahead and find out here.
Are you still on the air?
Yes, sir. Still on the air, trying to figure out what time this game's going to be on tomorrow. We're hoping you'd make a PA announcement and just say, hey, what time tomorrow? But nobody seems to know. They all kind of walked off. And so I'm asking Hector here with Game Changer to kind of give us a heads up what time tomorrow. There was a question about whether they would do 9 or 10, and they were going to do the flip. And the winner is 10 a.m. 10 a.m. is, so tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., we will have a game here between Youngstown and Laredo to decide who will meet the Taiwan Chinese Taipei team in the championship game at 7 o'clock. So tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., right here at Unitade, Palomino World Series action continues between Laredo and Youngstown. So have a great night. If you're here and listening, drive home safely. If you're in Youngstown, Ohio, or at home here in Laredo, have a great night. We'll see you then.